Hello guys, girls and everything else, this is another Cargo Pants video. This time, I'm going to rank all of the Pathfinder 2nd edition classes based on their difficulty to play. So, the lower the class is, the more likely you are to pick up the class at the very start and just have an easy time playing the class. So first, Alchemist. Well, Alchemist is actually, I think, pretty medium. You can both use your infused regions, like prepare spellcasters, and also you can use quick alchemy, which makes you kind of flexible in terms of your usage of your alchemical things. So that's pretty much why I would put Alchemist in medium. Also, you don't really need to distribute them yourself. You just need to give your allies some potions at the start of the day, and then just keep some regions for quick alchemy. So I say that just takes a moderate amount of planning. Barbarian. I will say Barbarian is easy. You rage and hit people. You're of course, raging and hitting people. Only thing that is kind of not really that amazing about barbarians is that they have medium armor, and also rage reduces their AC, so they're harder to hit, which makes them also harder to crit, which makes them easier to hit and easier to crit. So that's, I would say that distributing your rage is not it's a pretty important thing, and just like managing all of this stuff, not really that easy maybe, but yeah, I think that I can put it actually in fundamental. I think. No, Bard is actually easy. All you really need to do is just use debuff spells and use Inspire Courage. All you just need to do is spam as much buffs and debuffs, and you'll be fine. You don't even need to really use your spellcasting. All you really need to do is just get 3 of these songs, 3 like focus cantrips that bards have, and yeah, that you just need to spam all of them every turn, just to be effective. But you do have occult spellcasting, so that's mostly just buffs and debuffs. But I don't really count your versatility overall into hardness. Now Champion, I would actually put Champion, even though I know that actually I would kind of also maybe put Champion in. I'm wondering in between easy and medium, because you know, champions are tanky martial classes, but in addition to that, a lot of their spells deal alignment damage and stuff like this. Alignment and positive damage and stuff like this, so it's kind of unreliable when you can damage only when dealing damage in order to make the best out of your I don't know how this focus spell was called, but I think that was called Fire Blade, I believe. And it does like every spell level, I think 1d4. Every spell level it does 1d4 fire damage, which is already resisted a lot. 1d4 positive damage, which damages only undead, and 1d4 evil damage. So in order to actually make use of this efficiently, you need to be fighting an evil undead creature. So effectiveness of the champion really, depending on if it's like a medium class to play or easy class to play, depends on what kind of enemies you encounter on your campaign. But just to lower the odds, I would put champion in medium. Now cleric. Cleric, it's another one in kind of a weird spot, because if you mean cloistered cleric, then sure, easy. Then sure, it would be easy. But if you pick a war priest, it kind of becomes harder because you need to like kind of min-max your stats, and then you need to consider a lot of things about the cleric. You need to decide whether or not you want to sacrifice your dexterity for more heal spell slots, or do you want the better defense with dexterity. So then I would like put war priest probably in like in between medium and hard, but cleric is in between like medium and easy, because you know it has all of the free heal spells, but it also is a prepared spellcaster, which makes it a bit hard. But you know, you have pretty much all of the spells that you need to prepare already prepared, so you can like go wild with all the damaging and buffing spells that you want. So now druid. Druid, I'd put druid at medium. Medium, because druid can be a little bit overwhelming and doesn't really have quality of life features that make it really easy. But druids are pretty solid for prepared spellcasters. You have all of the focus spells that are pretty cool. That also, because they scale with your level, and you can pretty much get any subclass you want. So you know, so you don't even need to like confuse yourself with all of this stuff. Especially if you especially because I'm not really sure whether or not it is normally allowed, but at least last time I checked on Pathfinder, it was allowed, where I took Druid Dedication feat as a Druid, where I basically just took Order Explorer on every single one of these Druid things, and then essentially I just got all the focus spells, so I was like ultimately versatile. But if you use flexible spells preparation, then Druid is way better. Fighter, another fundamental one. Well, your things is you have +2 to hit, and when you hit hard. Because when you do hit critically, you apply the weapon critical specialization effect, which is for the most part a good thing, a really good thing. Now gunslinger, and yeah, and also you get 2 free feats with your combat flexibility that you can switch out. Gunslinger is pretty much just like fighter but ranged. You sacrifice your defenses for being able to use abilities during reloading, and you sacrifice your 2 free feats in order to have pretty much ability to do something when you roll initiative. For example, if you roll stealth for initiative as a sniper gunslinger, your first attack will deal extra precision damage. Inventor, I would put Inventor at easy. Pretty much. You're just a martial class. You just pick. If you have a weapon, you put traits on the weapon. If you have armor, you put resistances on the armor. And if you have a companion, it gets a little bit more complicated, but you know, you just use and boost your companions and stuff like this. You just make your companion better. With companion, it would be medium, but for the other two, it's easy. Now, investigator. It's an easy class, I think. You just roll intelligence for attack rolls, and when you do, you deal extra damage. And you can just roll additionally. If you fail the roll, you don't need to waste your second action to attack using that roll. You can roll another one time and then attack. Magus. I would put Magus at challenging. Because Magus, the thing is that unless you're using Starlit Span, and champion is also medium, because you usually need to sacrifice your dexterity in order to get good charisma. But you do have heavy armor on champion. That's why I didn't really put it that low. Well, Magus needs to keep track of recharging spell strike, and melee Maguses pretty much need to pick Sentinel dedication feat in order to actually have some good saving throws. And once again, you have spellcasting that is really limited and also is prepared, so you know, it's very, very confusing sometimes. Unless you're using like a ranged Magus, you will need to make a bunch of sacrifices. And yeah, that's pretty much why Magus is so up there. Now Monk is another easy one. Well, you're just a punchy guy. Use Flare of Blows, use stances instead of weapons. But you know, changing stances optimally and stuff like this, maybe a bit hard, and you don't really have, and most of your abilities are just like passive things that you do out of combat or stances, so they aren't really just maneuvers that you use and stuff like this, like Fighter and Gunslinger have. That's why I'm putting like Monk as a little bit harder than Fighter and Gunslinger, but you know. Easy classes and fundamental classes are the classes that you should pick for noobs. Fundamental classes are the classes that noobs that absolutely have no knowledge of the system should play. Easy classes are classes that probably just someone who has some experience, for example, just read through the rules before everything, then easy. Medium is for like people that just like play decently. Hard is for play decently, probably played D&D before and stuff like this. Hard is for like people that are familiar with Pathfinder, and challenging are for masochists. And back to challenging, actually, Oracle. I cannot stress enough how much I hate Oracle. Okay? Oracle not only is stuck with divine spellcasting, but also has that stupid curse. And you know, and not only limited resources, that stupid curse, and all of that stuff, it just makes me kind of angry. You know, the best mystery is probably Battle Mystery for Oracle, but you know, in order to fully utilize Battle Mystery, you should put some points in Strength, but wait, Charisma is your main stat, and you can only like pretty much boost 4 stats consistently at once. So you already have Charisma and Strength, so let's say that you pick Constitution and then maybe Wisdom or Dexterity, but you need to pick either Wisdom or Dexterity. You have to make sacrifices for the coolest one. And though you don't have 4 others, the curse is really hard to keep track of. And you know, it's really confusing. Okay, you need to read for like 5 paragraphs to understand just the basic curse, and then you have this for like other 3 curses, where you like read 3 paragraphs, so that's like 9 plus 5, that's like 14 paragraphs to read on the whole curse thing. Now Psychic. Psychic, I would say that Psychic is a hard class. First, hard class. Why is Psychic a hard class? Well, I would say that Psychic is a hard class because you have little spell slots, so you know, it's a bit less forgiving because you have very little spell slots, and you know, unleashing your Psyche requires a lot of thought and strategy to put into it, because if you activate your Psyche at the wrong moment, you will be stupefied for a moment, which you know will make it so you need to roll to check if you can even focus enough to actually cast your spell, which is pretty bad. And you know, you have also minus to the spell even if you succeed on that. Now Ranger, another easy class. You just pick a target and you get bonuses. Rest of that is just pretty much fighter. Fighter stuff except minus. Okay, so Rangers, they don't need to play range. They are basically just your typical martial class, except you can point at one enemy and say, okay, now I can deal extra damage to the enemy, or now the enemy has harder time hitting me, or or now I turn into Silver Chariot from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now Rogue. Rogue, I would put Rogue at medium. Why would I put Rogue at medium if it's just basically Investigator? Well, you need to make attacks against flat-footed enemies rather than just diversing a strategy. Even though you get also the skill things, all of the diversing strategy, all of the positioning that requires for Rogue requires a bit of strategy, so it's a pretty medium class. It's just Investigator, but requires some strategy in positioning. Now Sorcerer. Sorcerer, I'm kind of wondering, it's in between like easy and medium. In between easy and medium, because Sorcerer is a spontaneous caster and has access to the primal spell list. Which, well, this one is prepared but has access to the primal spell list. So I put Sorcerer at easy. You just need to pick your spells. It's just pretty much like Bard, but you have ability to use your primal spell list. Instead of just like doing these little buffs. And you get buffs if you use your signature spells. Not signature, I mean like, your bloodline spells, aka your focus spells. Now Summoner. Summoner, it's a really hard one. It's kind of a sorcerer, but it has a pet that has a different action economy. So it just kind of messes with action economy. So because of that, I considered putting it at challenging, but I think it's rather just hard. You can pick your spell list. You're not stuck with either arcane or divine magic, which just essentially locks you into a pretty much either a support healer or a support DPS. You can pick a primal spell list, so it makes it obviously like easier. You have more health, so it's more forgiving, but you still like spell slots that sorcerer has, and you need to. So I would put that at medium, but then action economy, so I will put it at hard. Now Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler, it's very similar to the Investigator, except a bit harder. You don't get all of the skills and stuff like this, so you're just like an Investigator, but you don't really get skills that much with that. You get a bit better abilities, but you don't really get the skills. So that, which means that you're not good at everything. So that would put Swashbuckler a bit harder. Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge, depending on how you play, maybe either medium to hard. I think put Thaumaturge at medium. You have a lot of implements Esoterica, where you just kind of get special abilities based on the implements you choose, and you can pick up to 3 implements. It's kind of intimidating to just like pick a subclass 3 times and try to make it work, but and once again, Thaumaturge. Once again, if you try to play melee Thaumaturge, then you use charisma as your main score, so yeah, you need to compensate a lot. That's why I'm considering putting it at hard. But once again, Witch and Wizard both go there. Well, they're both intelligence based, prepared spellcasters. They have pretty much very similar things, except Witch gains a familiar and gains a good familiar, and Wizard gains like all of the like cool spell stuff, where you just get like bonus spell slots instead of unfamiliar, and and you can get like pretty much something worth of a feat for free. But witches get hexes, which are pretty good at debuffing, while wizards get their bonded item, which essentially allows them to also get buffs. So yeah, that is my Pathfinder 2nd edition characters by difficulty. This is my Pathfinder 2nd edition characters by difficulty. Tier list, which, well, I will show him on my PC in a moment, but yeah, so I think that this video is a bit short. Oh, wait, no, it's 20 minutes long. So yes, sorry for taking up your time. So yeah, basically, that's just my rating. Others probably have better opinions on this. But this is my rating as a person who is experienced in playing myself, in playing a bit of pretty much every class except the new Dark Archive classes. So Thaumaturge and Psychic. I haven't played these yet. So yeah. So Thaumaturge and Psychic, my opinions on these two are probably bad, but on the other ones, I think that my takes are pretty decent. So yeah. So yeah, right now. But remember, yet again, everyone is a different person. I can possibly be wrong, but this is about the best I can give you in terms of my personal advice. But remember, try to find your own path, you freaks of nature. Signing off.